911 dispatcher sprung into action after getting numerous calls reporting a commercial airliner had exploded in the sky above Utah.
What the callers were actually seeing was a rocket making re-entry into the Earth's atmosphere, but it took several minutes for first responders to figure out what was going on. Now we are hearing those 911 calls and dispatch tapes for the very first time. Jeremy Harris is covering this one for us. He is live at Valley Emergency Communications. And Jeremy, it is incredible how detailed some of these 911 calls were.
Very detailed about something that didn't happen. In fact, one of the 911 callers said that he actually saw two planes, one flying south, one flying east, and he actually saw them collide in the air. We know that did not happen. Another caller said that he was so close to the plane was flying so low he could actually see the windows that were on fire. Now, what they were seeing, according to NASA, was a Chinese rocket making re-entry into the atmosphere of Earth, but it was very tense as dispatchers tried to figure out exactly what they had on their hands.
911, what's the address of your emergency?
I'm in Midvale. It looks like an airplane is on fire and might crash, a jetliner.
That call would make any dispatcher's heart race. It was one of a flood of calls that Valley Emergency Communications received after a bright light went across the Utah night sky.
What the heck?
I had watched a mid-air collision.
I thought, well, it's a shooting star, but it was going too slow.
While the dispatchers were busy figuring out if it indeed was a plane crash, the 911 callers described what sounded like a commercial jet bursting into flames.
There was a plane that I saw. It was blue, kind of a blue-red flashing thing, and then all of a sudden sparks just flew across the sky, and it looked like a mid-air collision.
Oh my God.
A jetliner, a full-size jetliner. It was low, and it looked like there was fire coming out of every window.
Dude, I can't breathe.
Okay, and what's her name?
The calls prompted dispatchers to send resources as if it actually was a commercial airline crash.
We've gotten multiple calls of a large explosion that was seen in the air that started near the West Valley area and landed about this location. They did hear an explosion.
It took only a few minutes for responders to verify that the fire was not from a plane and was actually a rocket re-entering the Earth's atmosphere. But for them and for the 911 callers, it was an intense few minutes.
That's like the scariest thing I've ever seen.
Oh my God. Look at the colors.
Yet it's not uncommon for eyewitnesses to try and connect the dots in their mind to try and make sense of what they are seeing. But in one of the 911 calls, the caller actually apologized and said, maybe I shouldn't have called 911 for this, but the dispatcher said that those calls were helpful in helping those dispatchers kind of figure out what they had and getting different perspectives on it until they could actually confirm with the airport that this was not a plane. Everything was fine. They did not have any missing planes here. But again, as we just heard in those 911 calls, obviously very tense for these folks. And it wasn't just here at VAC. Also, dispatch centers around the state and really throughout the western United States reported getting similar phone calls. Back to you, Ron and Holly.
Well, that's the thing. You never know. I mean,
Right,
it could happen because it probably looked that way to some of these people.
Yeah, and Jeremy, people were legitimately scared that that's really what was going on.
You could hear some of those tense moments in those, these people, one of them out of breath. I mean, people looking at that just having no point of reference for what they were seeing.
Yeah,
Wow.
I was talking with our Debbie Worthen this morning, and one of her daughters was out on a camping trip, and they saw this, and it scared them. In fact, she called her dad.
Yeah.
Worried about what was going on.
Wow.
Yep, a tense moment for a lot of folks.
Yeah. All right, Jeremy, thank you very much.